'Cause you keep us undercover, out of sight, and it's true. No one.
It's called house. It's called house. It's called house.
We're still glowing. I'm down, let's kick it while we're still young. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. We're still glowing. I'm down, let's kick it while we're still young. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. I'll show you.
Welcome, guys. Thank you all for joining. I am so excited to be here tonight for our second week of Max Out Mondays. Guys, make sure you share the stream. If you guys find value in it, drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys want me to cover in the future. But I'm super excited and grateful to be here with each and every single one of you. And for everyone that's watching on the replay right now, man, super excited to be able to add value. And again, my goal, guys, is to just give you the best of what I'm seeing moving forward. And as we think about Max Out Mondays, guys, listen, I dropped something on Facebook today, and that concept was that when you think about it, right, every day is a new day to start again. Every week is a new week to start again. And listen, I know that some of you have had challenges with, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be with life, it could be with finances, it could be with whatever it could be, right? I want you to know that you can start fresh every day. Stop focusing on the past, stop focusing on what you haven't gotten accomplished, and look forward to everything it is that you want to accomplish and everything that it is that you want to become. And, as I started, 2023, and as I ended 2022, there's been a lot of reflection over really the last, 6-12 months on, what does life look like moving into the future? And, I've done a lot of business. I've done a lot of things. I've been trading for years now. And, what does life look like? What is it that what I want to accomplish? And one thing that is never changed, right, is that my heart is to inspire people to become who they were created to be, right? To help people accomplish their destiny. And, tonight, as I'm here with all of you and sharing this, that is my goal. That is my heart, is to give you guys the best of me so that you can take it back and make it a better part of who you are. And so I was thinking about it before starting today. And, I'm going to start off these calls with just a little bit of inspiration, right? A little bit of motivation, because I know it's Monday. Many times on Mondays, right, we get our butt kicked, and maybe you got a job, family, maybe finances, whatever it could be that's going on in your life. I want you to look forward to this, not just as we talk about, economies and money and finances and the possibilities of what's out there and trading. I really want you to come to this, and for maybe it's a regroup for you. Maybe it's a renewal for you, a refuel, to get that inspiration and motivation to move forward that many know me as Max the Mentor for. And so, guys, just excited for you to be here. Make sure you check out the first week session. And I'll be improving this. This is the first time ever doing these live streams. I've done Zoom calls forever and a day, and Zoom trainings and public speaking and leadership trainings and all kinds of stuff that you could think of for many, many years. And but this is the first time that I do live streaming. And so, know that I'll be improving week in and week out. I want to give you guys top quality stuff as I'm learning the ropes on really how this all works. And my heart is just to impact the world one person at a time, and I hope that that'll be you. And on Max Out Mondays, guys, we're going to cover what's going on in the world when it comes to finances, when it comes to the economy. There's a lot of crazy things happening right now in 2022, 2023. It's been a wild ride the last 12 months. And so my goal, as I was studying this stuff and watching what's going on in the world, my heart has really been to just give you guys what I'm seeing, what's out there, and bring you the best of whatever I can offer you, right? What I'm seeing out there, and then for you to be able to apply it. And then for all of you that want to leverage trade, maybe you're in a place in life right now where you want to make extra money, and maybe you've been trading, maybe you haven't traded before. Well, guys, we're going to go into an opportunity now where I'll be sharing some stuff with you that can help you be on track with that. And as we grow this stream, as we grow the views, I will begin to add more and more value to you guys to be able to get to that next level in entrepreneurship, in finances, and in trading. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and open us up here and share what I'm looking at and give us an outlook for the week. The reason we do this on Mondays is because Mondays sets us up for the rest of the week when it comes to being ready to trade, being ready to enter these markets. Monday is a great indication of what the rest of the week could look like, or at least give us key levels to look for. And then we'll be catching up on, current events and stuff like that, as well as they happen. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And, these calls will typically be about an hour, give or take. Sometimes a little less, maybe around 45 minutes, sometimes a little bit more, as I do plan to have guests on as well, as we roll this out. So anyways, pay attention. And, if you're watching it live, you can drop some comments and some questions if you have it. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can drop any questions that you may have in the comment section below. All right. So let's go ahead and rock it. All right, fam. So here's a couple of cool things. If you're not familiar, there's something called forexfactory.com for those of you that trade Forex, that trade what's called leverage. But even if you don't trade leverage yet or Forex yet, this is a great website to keep up to date with what's going on news-wise. All right. Now, for leverage traders, guys, we're just looking for red folders. We're looking for anything that could, reset the market, move the market with high volatility. And those are the red folders. Now, you want to pay attention to orange and yellow folders too, especially if you trade regular currency pairs. It can at times shake things up a little bit, but really red pairs is what you are mostly focused on. All right. Tomorrow, we're pretty clear in the US. There is some Canadian news. There's also some Japanese news. And there is some Great British Pound news as well tonight at 2 a.m. All right, so just a couple things to look out for there. All right, on Wednesday, guys, we're going to have some major U.S. news Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. So the markets, they open up at 9:30 a.m. for retail traders, but the markets are going to go absolutely bananas at 8:30 a.m. if you trade leverage. These are the types of moves that some traders like to get in. And, so basically, even though the market opens at 9:30 with a lot of leverage traders, brokers, a lot of trading brokers that are overseas, especially, you can trade US 30, NASDAQ, S&P, you can trade them even though it's before the opening bell. All right. So opening bell is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So when I talk to you guys about things like US 30 and things of that nature, that's at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. This news will be at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday. All right. Other than that, pretty clear day. All right. Looks like Thursday is going to be super clear day. All right. And then Friday, also pretty clear day, just some orange folders. So really Wednesday will be the day that'll reset a lot of stuff, push a lot of stuff in different directions. Most of the rest of the week is pretty chill. All right, except for the red folders that I mentioned. Again, guys, check out forexfactory.com and it'll give you the days and times of the news. And you want to make sure that you set this to Eastern time. All right, so I forget right now how to do that, but make sure that you have it on Eastern time, because it can throw you off if you're not on Eastern time, or if for some reason it's not on Eastern time and you are on Eastern time. All right. All right. Well, lots of crazy stuff going on. Cool stuff, though, is that we are pumping. All right. We're seeing a lot of things pump up in price. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we get into this stream. But definitely, Bitcoin's making headlines, guys. Pretty awesome. All right. Now, I will tell you guys that me and a lot of the people that I look up to, we're not looking at Bitcoin as going back to 60,000 right now. This is a nice pump and everything, but I wouldn't count this as we're going back into a bullish market. All right. Maybe we'll talk about that more next week. Let's see how this week plays out. But I'll just tell you guys, prices are up, but I don't expect them to stay this high. And I'm still expecting a crypto winter for the foreseeable time moving forward. Guys, obviously, the Ukraine war is continuing to press on. No end in sight there at all. Okay. There's a lot of more positivity this week in the news. So, pay attention to that. And, I'll tell you my kind of foresight of what I'm seeing going into next week. I thought this was pretty cool. I didn't read too much into it. Saudi Arabia can bridge the gap between the US and China. really weird dynamics there, guys, in the U.S. relationship right now with both Saudi Arabia and especially China. Check out my last week's video. I talked a lot about the concerns I have over Chinese and U.S. relations right now, especially when it comes to the financial world and dominant superpower. Just, be paying attention to that stuff. And obviously, we've had the whole Biden scandal with, the concealed classified documents in his house. We're not going to get into all that, but, interesting stuff that's been going on. All right. So anyways, the news is pretty neutral, but there's been a lot of positive things. So that's going to always shape the news. All right. To be slightly more positive. I also like to check out Bloomberg. Even though they make you pay to read a lot of these, you want to just kind of take a look at the headlines and get like kind of a sentiment feeling of what the markets are feeling like. And I know that's kind of weird, but you want to kind of have an idea, are people more positive or negative, right? And when people are more negative, when the news is more negative, things typically are pushing down. When things are more positive, things are typically pushing up. All right. Now, doesn't mean you want to trade based on like what you're reading in these articles, but what it does mean is you want to get an overall feel, are things more positive or negative when it comes to the financial instruments that you're looking at. All right. And I do want to let you guys know, this is obviously not investment advice. I'm just giving you guys kind of how I look at things, and you do your homework and due diligence and see what works for you. All right. All right. We all know, guys, a lot of the stocks have been taking a hit, but, there's been a lot of recovery, over the last few days, Friday, today, there's been some recovery going on. And so that's good. And we'll take a look at it. I like to go here. US 30 is the Dow Jones. And so when you look at this chart here, this screen, this is companiesmarketcap.com, Dow Jones. So these are all the stocks of the Dow Jones. So if you ever trade US 30, which is what I talk about a lot, you're going to be able to see, guys, what's, how they're doing up and down and all around. All right. So you'll be able to see that there. You'll be able to see their pricing and how they're doing. Okay. So I like to focus on the top ones. Typically the top ones move the entire market, so Apple, Microsoft, Visa, like these guys right here really move the entire market, especially Apple. Apple doesn't do good. It affects US 30. It affects the Dow Jones tremendously, right? Same thing with Microsoft. So they've been going down, for the last month or so. And so you want to be paying attention to that. All right. When it comes to crypto, again, guys, we had a great bounce. Maybe in the future on these sessions, I'll go through like kind of like a crypto chart. Right now, I'm not trading, day trading crypto, so I don't really care about the charts too much. Overall, long term, I am bullish on crypto. We'll probably have a crypto Monday call here soon. But, overall, I am bullish on crypto, meaning I believe that crypto is going to be going up over the long term. Right, period. Over the next 5, 10, 20 years, I see crypto going up. We're seeing mass adoption. We're seeing now countries getting involved in the cryptocurrency space, creating their own cryptocurrency. So I think at this point, guys, it's needless to say that crypto is not going anywhere. NFT revolution, that technology is not going anywhere. Is it down in value right now? Absolutely. Are some people getting wiped out? Absolutely. But the technology itself and what it stands for, that's not going anywhere. So I wouldn't expect to go anywhere either, right? So Bitcoin right now, guys, I mean, we were down. Maybe I'll take a look at a chart real quick in a few moments, but we were down in like the 17,000s and we've pumped up to 21,000. Absolutely amazing. Remember, the high of Bitcoin, guys, is over $65,000. So we're nowhere near that right now. But the point is this: if you go back on a chart and you look at Bitcoin and what it's done, right? Bitcoin at 21,000. I mean, guys, remember, 2008, 2009, Bitcoin comes out, Bitcoin's worth under a penny, right? You got to, put that into perspective. Right now it's worth 20,000. So everybody that's saying that Bitcoin is trash and crypto is trash, all these people lose their money. Pay attention to crypto. It's not going anywhere, especially as governments begin to regulate it more. And I'll actually use that to kind of shift into something I was going to share with you guys. The more that Bitcoin and crypto is regulated, Not that it, most of these coins cannot be 100% regulated like US dollars can and bank accounts can, but there is regulation coming, especially for exchanges and any company that deals with cryptocurrency on an institutional level and an investment level. There's lots and lots of scrutiny coming, lots of regulation coming, laws coming. So pay attention to that. Ethereum, holding steady, man. $1,500. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And obviously we've got tons and tons of coins. Right now we've got over 12,000 coins listed on CoinGecko. So, personally, the way I look at crypto as far as an investment right now, I would focus on, the top coins, which right now, in my opinion, Bitcoin and Ethereum, potentially XRP, and that's it. I don't really want to hear about all kinds of new coins, obviously, like Cardano, Dogecoin and its following, Polygons, Solana's had all kinds of stuff going on. Doesn't mean it'll disappear, but has had a lot of challenges. Polkadot. So there's a lot of coins that have history, but right now I wouldn't go crazy on investing in some like random coin that somebody invents. It would really need a use case. And personally, I would probably wait until after this season of government regulation to see what's going to happen with crypto before investing into some of these random coins. All right. That's just my opinion. Do your due diligence. All right. Let me find, there's actually an article that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me see if I find it here. I may have exited out of it. Here it is. So when I talk about, regulations coming to crypto and, what I'm seeing in the markets, I think this is a good thing, guys. I know that's hard to understand. A lot of people have lost a lot of money. I personally have been affected by some of these shutdowns. What I'll tell you is that the more that these companies are being scrutinized, the more that the SEC is going after these types of companies that are crypto exchanges, places where people invest in cryptocurrency and things of that nature. I actually see it as a positive. Reason being is because the more laws that go in place, the more structure that goes in place, the more stability that the digital currency, cryptocurrency markets will have. Right. The reason it's been as crazy as it's been is because there has been no regulation. And it's unfortunate, but people have to lose a lot of money, guys, in order for a regulation to happen. If you go back into the Great Depression, right, if you look at what happened in the stock market, that caused massive regulation of the stock market for the government to intervene. And it sucks because, man, do people actually have to lose a ton of money in order for the government to get involved and a lot of people to get hurt? Unfortunately, the answer is yes, right? The government has a lot of programs and processes going on that they don't want more headaches. But when they see that people are getting hurt, when they see that people are getting screwed over, companies are getting shut down, Ponzi schemes that are happening, the government intervenes. And so right now, Gemini, BitThumb, Nexo are fresh targets for regulation. This was a great article, and so just pay attention to this, guys. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission, which is the SEC, charged cryptocurrency lending firm Genesis Global Capital and crypto exchange Gemini with selling unregistered securities through Gemini's Earn program. So basically, the way that this would work is you would deposit crypto into Gemini's exchange. Then you would sign up to receive interest on that crypto. Now, the way that it worked though is it's kind of like they lent out your crypto. The crypto is no longer being held by the exchange. And then what happens is Genesis, goes belly up, right? It folds. It doesn't have the funds anymore, whatever. It lost the funds and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on with them. Now, the people that had their money in Gemini basically lost that money. They're not getting that crypto back anytime soon, if ever. With that said, now the government's stepping in and saying, hey, that was a security. A security, guys, is an investment. Whenever you sell an investment, government says you have to have a license. If you're a person like you or I, you have to have a license. But even more so, if you're a company, you need a broker license. And that is a major deal. major deal, and you go under massive government scrutiny. And so the point of everything I'm saying is this: with a company like Gemini, dealing with the SEC suing them now, this is good for crypto. Why? I love Gemini. I love the twins that run it. I mean, they're great people. They're huge on cryptocurrency. They've been huge proponents for the movement. But unfortunately, things like this need to happen so that the markets will stabilize, so that people can have confidence in these markets. Guys, FTX shutting down, and all the other exchanges that, have been having massive issues. That happens because these huge companies, accumulated billions of dollars of crypto, and all of a sudden people's assets are wiped out. So moving forward, will there be another run like that? I believe so. But guess what? The government's going to say, hey, you want to open up a crypto exchange? Awesome. You're going to have to follow these guidelines. You're going to have to sign up for these things. You're going to have massive scrutiny. Your books are going to be scrutinized. I mean, this is going to be big. They're going to probably have a whole crypto division set up for this, just like they do stock traders and stock brokers and, retirement fund managers. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of government regulation moving forward. And it's because of things like this, right? So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was an important thing, looking at the markets moving forward, that things like this are going to happen. I know it's tough. I know it sucks. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, guys, things like this have to happen in order for regulation to take place. All right. So, all right, moving forward, let's talk about something else. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this. This is an interesting thing right here. I saw something about our national debt the other day, and it really hit me that this U.S. national debt, guys, is absolutely insane. Insane. Now, I will tell you, like, I just started studying this, so I'm not going to make myself out to be an expert on, U.S. debt and how that works. But I will tell you this. This started coming out this week, at the end of last week, too. That basically the U.S. is going to hit its debt limit on Thursday. All right. So we're looking right now in a situation where the U.S. is going to hit the limit to the maximum amount of debt that it's going to be able to have at any given time. Okay. Now, this is important because as I was reading up on this, there's a lot of things going on that we need to make sure that we pay attention to. One, the House, right, just went, so in the US, right, you've got the president, you got the House of I forget the name of it, but basically you got your senators, you got your congressmen, right? And so the House is now ran by the Republicans. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, but understand what I'm about to say. Main Congress is still ran by the Democrats, and obviously you've got a Democratic president. But the House is going to fight, okay, to let the debt continue to accumulate, meaning like to raise the debt ceiling, right? So it's like kind of like if you were given a credit card for $10,000 and you're about to hit your limit, but you have no money to live off of, and you need the bank to give you $12,000 or $15,000 on that credit card, or you're not going to pay your rent and things are going to shut down, and then they're going to hit your credit. So I was looking at this, and basically, guys, what ends up happening is this. If we don't get a debt ceiling approved to go higher, meaning we can borrow more money, here is what the U.S. Treasury Secretary is saying. Failure to meet the government's obligation would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy. Okay. Now, I read another article that was really interesting. And basically, one of the things that they were saying was that the last time that the debt ceiling wasn't raised in enough time, which was in 2011, it took months for the economy to recover. So here's the thing. Personally, I think we need to be figuring out how to get these numbers dropped. The fact that we have a $31 trillion debt as a country is ridiculous, right? I think we need to get this down. But what's crazier when you start thinking about this stuff is the fact that if we don't raise our debt ceiling, what happens is our credit rating will be downgraded. Now, here's what this means for you. Here's what this means for me. I want you to imagine this. Let me see. I had a chart earlier. Let me see. I don't have that chart right now. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Check this out. Basically, the world lends each other money, right? Everybody's got all this debt. China right now has $14 trillion in debt. The US has 31. Now, if you look at it, guys, I mean, compared to the rest of the world, we have an astronomical debt compared to the rest of them. Now, we do also have an astronomical GDP, gross domestic product, right? We make more money than anyone else by far, right? So if you look at it that way, yes, we have a massive amount of debt, but we also have a massive amount of income at the same time, right? But here's the point. If we default on any of our debt ever, there's a credit rating system that basically it's like a reputation to pay people back for the money that we owe. If we do not pay on time, or if we default just for a day or a couple days, right? And it's actually shown that we defaulted on a payment, just like your credit score goes down, the US credit score goes down. Now, I want you to go back to last week. If you didn't watch last week's session, you need to go back and watch it to see, because what I'm talking about when it comes to global finances, guys, it's super important for you to understand the fact that global economics right now is shifting. And I talked last week about how the US's power globally, economically, has the potential right now to shift as well over the next 20, 30, 40 years, right? Our children's children, our next generations, they may not have the wealth outlook that we have as US citizens now. If you're watching this from another country, welcome. But for those of us in the US, you know, where most of our viewers are watching, you know, we've had a certain amount of stability, pride, and hey, everything's going to be okay. If we default on our debt, our credit rating goes down and things get shaky. So anyways, guys, pay attention to this. I thought this was interesting to pay attention to the global debt. And I see you guys in the chat. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hey, share this with somebody if you guys are getting value, okay? But guys, this global debt is crazy and it keeps going up. It's absolutely bananas, right? The government has a $246,000 deficit per taxpayer in the country. That means for every single person that pays taxes in the US, all right, there's $246,000 of debt for, you know, that the government owns for that. So if you thought your budget was bad, these guys really got to figure this thing out, right? So anyways, guys, pay attention to what happens this week when it comes to the US and our debt. All right. By the way, last thing I'll mention, since I do trade US 30 and a lot of us are trading indices, be careful because this can highly disrupt what's going on in the stock market. And I won't say, you know, what party I vote for or nothing like that. But you know, if the Republicans right now want to make a statement about how much, you know, the government is spending on money, they could, you know, sabotage the debt ceiling to be raised, and it could tank the stock market. Now, they won't let it tank for long because people are going to get pissed at them. People's retirement funds and all this junk are going to get hit, but they could do it to make a statement, and that can reset the market. That could create some trades, but if you're not careful, it could also hit some stop losses. All right. All right. Last thing I wanted to talk about, guys, and then we'll jump into the charts. I thought this was really interesting. I saw this actually earlier today, and I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool as in how things are evolving in the crypto market. Not good for the US. And again, I talked about a lot of stuff last week. Pay attention to BRICS and what they're trying to do by creating a currency. But it seems like now this came out very recently in the last 24 hours. This really started launching. Iran, terrorist country, that's what the US considers it, you know, an enemy of the US. and Russia are working together to create a stable coin. Now, if you don't know what a stable coin is, a stable coin is basically a coin that doesn't really gain value, right? If you think about Bitcoin, it keeps gaining value. Ethereum, it could gain value. It could also lose value. A stable coin is designed to stay stable, all right? It doesn't shift with the market. So kind of like a dollar is always a dollar outside of inflation, obviously. But when you go to the market, if something's $3.29, it'll be $3.29, right? Iran and Russia are working on a stable coin, okay, that will be backed by gold. Now, guys, I've been reading more and more about gold and how a lot of foreign countries have been stacking up on gold. Pay attention to this. The price of gold, guys, in the next foreseeable future, personally, I don't see the value of gold going down, and potentially the value of gold could continue to see astronomical numbers, right? Because what happens is this: countries have all this debt. The current fiat system, when I say fiat, I'm talking about standard currencies. The fiat system is so close to a global collapse because really it's a house of cards, right? Think about this. The debt's going up and up and up. And then all of a sudden, we need to raise the debt ratio. And then they don't find a way to pay off this debt. The debt just keeps going up and up and up. It's insanity, right? Eventually, something has to give. And unfortunately, guys, when COVID hit, this national debt number exploded for all the countries around the world. And it created massive inflation after that. I mean, it's been insanity, right? But because of what's going on with fiat currency and all this debt, you're going to see, and we are seeing, a lot of countries buying up gold reserves, okay? Price of gold, I don't think we'll see it come down anytime soon, long term, right? Obviously, you could day trade it and stuff, but long term, the price of gold is going up, my friends, right? And so here, this potential stable coin, it's still in the works, aims to enable cross-border transactions instead of fiat currencies like the US dollar. All right. So basically what they want to do is they want to create a stable coin that's a cryptocurrency, but it is backed by actual gold. Okay. Now, the crazy thing about this is, right, again, you put all these sanctions on Russia. Russia is trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to get around the system of the US? So now they're trying to do things like this. What is that doing? It's bringing global innovation to the financial markets. Not good for the US, guys. I'm not saying that this is going to topple the US anytime soon or our economy. But what I'm saying is we got to pay attention to what's going on out there. Okay. All these countries are ready to launch these digital coins at a much faster rate than the US is. The US is very behind lately when it comes to a lot of things technology wise, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. Right? So pay attention to this. So anyways, guys, imagine Iran and Russia able to do transactions, completely skip the US dollar, completely skip fiat currencies and be able to just transact with one another. And it's backed by gold. Guys, that is a big deal. All right. So be paying attention to this. All right. Just interesting stuff that's going on around the world. Now, with that said, guys, let's jump into some charts. As we get into the final, quarter of this call. So one thing that I didn't talk about last week that I did want to bring up to you today is something called the DXY. Now, for all of you that, have traded in the past, maybe you're familiar with the DXY, but I want to talk to you guys because especially if you trade, currencies, even cryptocurrencies, standard Forex currencies, if you trade, indices, gold, anything like that, DXY is a very, very important thing to be watching. The DXY is the strength and value of the dollar. Okay. Really, you could just say the value of the dollar. And obviously, as it goes up, okay, the value of the dollar goes up. Okay, it goes down, the value of the dollar goes down. Now, price has been pumping, guys, for quite a while. And I've been reading up and seeing how the strong dollar, as strong as it was getting, was actually wrecking other countries' economies. So it's actually good that the dollar comes down a little bit. Now, here's what I'm seeing going into the near future. Here's what I'm expecting. Now, one thing that I mentioned and I will always mention is this: I don't try to predict price on anything. And I would encourage you not to predict price either. Meaning if you trade, don't try to say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go there, or, the US dollar is going to go there. The euro is going to go here. Don't do that. But rather see what the market is doing and then react to that. All right. So right now, what do I see? I see Bitcoin, crypto. Listen to me. I'm stuck on crypto tonight. I see the dollar has been pumping up, got to this level, and then I see that the dollar has been dropping down, right? Now, I do see this key area here that price came through and rejected before, later broke out and retested. So I consider this kind of like a supply and demand area, okay? And again, I'm not going to get into too much detail on trading. If you need more help with that, you can message me. My goal is to give you guys like a free basic academy. As we grow this stream out, I'm going to give you guys like a lot of basics that you can watch for free on this channel. But for now, just kind of catch it in between the lines and do your own studying, okay? Now, here's what I see. If price is going to continue to drop for the dollar, which I believe it will, at least in the short term, I see price coming up somewhere around this area, this week, and then, doing a small, slow descent down or fast, doesn't matter. But I see basically price continuing to descend, right? I see a downtrend that has happened here, and I see price potentially continuing to drop. Now, why is that important? Well, the reason that's important is, we talked about Bitcoin earlier. What was Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin was going up, right? That's because Bitcoin, if you watch it pegged to the US dollar, as the dollar drops, Bitcoin goes up. Now, what I trade is US 30, which is the stock market, the top 30 stocks of the Dow Jones. Now, just so that you know, typically, DXY moves opposite, or let me phrase it this way. The stock market moves opposite of DXY, the power of the dollar, about 80% of the time, give or take. I do see times where they're kind of even. I have seen times where they're moving in the same direction, but it's very rare. Most times, DXY gives us an indication of what the stock market is going to do. So if you can watch the DXY and you can see that the DXY is dropping, it'll give you an indication that US 30 can potentially be moving up. All right. So DXY is dropping. US 30 has a potential to go to the upside. So with that said, that is what I am expecting to happen tomorrow. Now, remember what I said. I don't try to predict, meaning that if it doesn't go up, I'm not crying about it. I'm going to find a trade that'll go to the downside and I'm going to sell it, right? I'm going to short it. Now, I do want to show you guys some stuff that I shared with you last week that played out, because I want you to see that, there's a valuable trade insight that I'm giving you guys. Now, one of the things I'm going to just go ahead and chart. I don't like today's Monday candle as much because it was a bank holiday today in the US, but I have seen that the Monday highs and lows still play out even on low volatility holiday Mondays. So I'm still going to mark it up and pay attention to it tomorrow. Okay. So this is and if you guys were with me last week, you remember I marked up my Monday high. All right. This is for the 16th. And then I'm going to mark up my Monday low. There we go. Awesome. So with that said, fam, okay, here I have my Monday high, I have my Monday low, okay? Doesn't really change my expectation because Monday was a bank holiday today. And there wasn't a whole lot of volatility. Here's what I am looking at. I'm looking for price. I do have a key level right here, right where price is kind of right now, like just slightly above it, kind of in the 34.28 area. This has been a key level since back here. What I would be looking at, my most sought after entry right now, and again, unfortunately, it could play out overnight. I do not trade at night, but if you want to trade US 30, here's something you can look at. This is where I would want to potentially take a trade right there. Okay, this is where I would like to take an entry. Again, this may happen overnight. Also, you could see the price range for a while and then maybe tomorrow morning do it. You could also do it tonight when the European markets open 2, 3 in the morning. Okay, so we'll see. But either case, what I potentially see US 30 doing, if it does decide indeed to continue to drop on the DXY, which is the US dollar, if the DXY continues to drop, I see US 30 continue to go up. Okay, so I would see it come up into this area here. And then once it gets up in this range, potentially come up here. Okay, so that's what I would be seeing right now. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Now, if it doesn't do that, all right, so let's do this. Let's do it this way. And again, and I'm going to show you guys how this stuff played out last week because, you know, I was grateful that I was able to share this with you guys. Entry one for me, depending on how the market opens, if you trade at night, you could look for an entry there potentially. All right, so that's entry one. I don't expect entry two to happen, but you could, you could see some market volatility and movement where it could potentially do something like this. Okay, that would be like possibility number two. And then obviously it could continue to downside if it chooses to. All right, so I'll just put a 2 there in case it bounces. I would want it to bounce off this key level right here. All right, so we'll call that entry possibility number 2. But what I really expect is if price is going to pump up, whether it does it here or it does it here, you know, wherever it does it, but it's going to bounce off this key level here, all right, in the 34,281 range. If price does do that, however it does it, you know, you could also see something like this. Bounce off the Monday high. Boom. Okay. And then once price is there, we'll see what happens. If price continues to be strong, then obviously we could see something like this. Now, what I will tell you guys is I always look for a retest of some sort, depending on how volatile the market is. You may have to take it to a really small time frame. You know, the 5-minute, but I like to see a nice good retest of the market and then shoot up. So, you know, let's call this number 3. 1 second. And I'm going to probably start publishing these on TradingView so you guys can follow it. I'm Max the Mentor on TradingView as well. All right, so those are 3 possibilities for US 30. Could bounce here and then shoot up. Could bounce there and then drop down. Okay. But however it does it, once price breaks into this area and this area, this is where I'd be looking for entries, potentially there. Potentially there. All right. And to be honest with you guys, this is what I'm going to do. I would rather wait for this here. I'm going to actually delete this because price is ranging in here now, and I really wouldn't touch that. Wait for it to break out of that range. Let's do it this way. Better to not take any trade than to take a bad trade. This is what I would potentially want to do right here. Okay. I like for price to confirm its moves. So let's call it like that for now. Because if price decides to range, this orange line is where price closed for Monday's candle. It's this orange line right here. So price may range in here. Once it breaks out, then enter. Okay. Now, I do want to show you guys some price action from last week that played out pretty dope. I gave you guys these entries, and then I also gave it on my Instagram. Okay. I gave an entry on my Instagram. I said, hey, I'll give you guys this one as a freebie. I didn't put this on the session. So check this out. Literally, you can't make this stuff up. So last week, I did a session around this time. So let's see, 8 o'clock is about 2000 hours, right? So price was like around here somewhere. And I drew this. So imagine this is how it was. Let's do it this way. All right, cool. So this was the price action. All right, nothing had happened yet. So I said, look, here are the possibilities. Price can come up into this area and then drop, or price can come up in here and then shoot up. Okay. And let's see what happened. All right. So look, here was entry number one, potential entry number two. This happened the same night, guys. So I drew this up like around 8 o'clock, and then right around 2 a.m. Eastern time, price respected this key zone. Boom. Boom. All right. So that trade right there, okay, that's, 143 points right there. That's a good trade. All right. Typically on US 30, I risk 50 points. I try not to risk more than that, sometimes 75 points or something like that. So, I mean, that's a phenomenal trade right there. All right. So if you would have caught it at night, you'd have been able to enter that there. Now, let's see what else we got. So that was scenario number one. Now, check this out. Scenario number two also played out. So if you backtrack this, this was also a phenomenal trade right here. Okay. You're literally looking at 178 points of profit. If you look at it as pips, that would be like 1,777 pips. Okay. So that's massive right there. So if you risk about 50 points, right, 177 points of profit right there if you exit out in time. So scenario two also played out from last week's call. Now, price did come down. If you didn't close, right, your stop loss would have got hit. Okay. But guess what? US 30 gave you another entry. Boom. Could have entered right here. Almost no drawdown, guys. By the way, almost no drawdown here. Almost no drawdown here. Almost no drawdown here. Here we go. All right. That's where I would have got out. Okay. Anywhere up in here, you're close to this next zone that I had drawn out. Here you go. Boom. 274 points of profit. That's a major trade right there. If you risk, 50 points, that's over a 1-to-5 trade right there. Okay. And if you don't know about risk to reward and stuff, that's okay. You'll learn on future sessions. All right. Now, these are the two scenarios I gave out on last Monday's call. Go watch Monday's call and see for yourself that that's what I was talking about. Now, guess what? I went on Instagram, Max the Mentor on Instagram, and this is what I said. I said, yo, I'm going to give you guys a freebie. I see price coming up into this area and then giving a potential buy. Okay. Let's see what happened. Ranged for a while in a supply demand zone area. You had no business getting in. There we go. There's when it starts to give you the potential to get in. All right. Right in this area right here, you see it broke, it retested, and look, it tested it twice. It gave you this little one here. So if you're still scared when that happens, potentially get in here. All right. You do get some drawdown. That one almost hits your stop loss. Okay. But the point is, you could have gotten this trade really close to the stop loss. But look, boom. So right there, that was a winning entry. That was about a 2-to-1 trade, right? But it gave you a second trade opportunity. So if you would have gotten in, this was kind of like a not as precise entry, but if you would have gotten in again here, if it would have hit your stop loss, all right, or if you would have gotten anywhere here when this thing came back into this area, if you look at this like on the 5-minute candle, there's a lot of wiggle room here. Lots of wiggle room where you could have potentially had an entry and never gave you like a solid retest. But again, what I called was from this area. So anywhere in here, you could have tried to look for a buy. Thing took off, guys. All right. And I called this on Instagram another 200-point trade. So you have a 200-point trade here. That's about 2,000 points, 2,000 pips. I'm sorry. Okay. And then you've got the same thing here, right? 275 points, about 2,750 pips. Now, even if you take these smaller entries, okay, remember this, when I learned to trade US 30 was when I started trading with funded accounts. And I started realizing, if you're not familiar with funded accounts, I didn't plan to get too deep into this tonight, but I'll close up with this to give you guys kind of a vision of, what I've been working on for a while with some of my top guys. I paid a mentor to teach me about FTMO and show me the ropes with it. And here's what I'll tell you is that when you want to get funded, okay, your biggest thing is that you got to hit percentages, all right, in order to win. So basically the way this works is when you are able to pass their trading test, which is you got to make 10% of your account size in your first month. Okay. And then there's some other things. Basically, they're going to give you a certain percentage of the money, which is 80 to 90%. The accounts I go for are 80%. Okay. And you get to keep 80% of the profit. So for instance, you have a $100,000 account and, you go for the challenge, they're going to give you a $100,000 account as long as you make $10,000 during your trial. They're going to give you like a demo account. You're going to be able to practice it. And then, once you feel comfortable, you go for it. Here's what I learned. I was trading a lot of regular currencies, Euro USD, the GBP pairs, the Euro pairs, the Japanese yen pairs, right? Aussie pairs, all kinds of currencies. And I've gone to look at some now because there's not always a perfect trade that I like on US 30. But here's what I learned is that US 30 gives you the volatility to get those profits and then get out of the game. Okay, meaning you're in and out. Your trade should only last, maybe an hour, maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but you're not in there for multiple days, at least the way that I'm trading it, right? So I say all that to say, imagine you got to grow your account 10% and you're able to catch, just one of the plays. Here it gave you 2 entries. What if you just caught one? Again, here you got 2 entries. Maybe you just caught one. Maybe one hit your stop loss, but you got back in it and then you rolled that one, right? The point is, look at all these opportunities, right, for US 30 to help you hit your targets for your account. So anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I wanted to kind of just catch you up on what I see. That's what happened last week as well. And so I wanted to, kind of give you guys the heads up. And let me get out of here. Yes. All right, cool. All right. So as we look into tomorrow, Tuesday, guys, this is Max Out Mondays. We're getting ready for the week. What I would say is if the unlikely chance happens and price breaks below this area, I would look for a break and retest of this kind of area here, which is right around the Monday low that was just created today. You also look at it. There's also some, some signs of, if you want to call that resistance. I don't really talk support and resistance. I see the supply and demand zones or smart money institutional candles. That's what I look for areas, right? I don't really care about support and resistance all that much, even though the daily levels and the 4-hour levels are very powerful. Outside of that, I don't really pay attention to support and resistance. But really, guys, what I'm looking for is price to break out of this like little mini range that it's in right now, created by the Monday high, the Monday low. I want to see it break out. This is what I'm looking for going into tomorrow. Going into Wednesday, I'm looking for an entry breaking through the Monday high. Okay. So guys, with that said, that's pretty much it. I'm starting to look at some other stuff again. I've only been trading US 30 for a while and I'm focused on it. But just so you guys know, US 30 is the top 30 stocks of the Dow Jones. You also have the NASDAQ that you could be looking at. And again, price just ranged today. So I do have a few things that I'm looking at for the NASDAQ as well. So in the US, we have 3 major stock markets. We have the Dow Jones, okay, which is US 30. We have NASDAQ, which has more tech stocks in it. And then you have SPX, which is Standard and Poor. So those are 3 major stock markets that exist inside of the US, okay? I don't really trade NAS and SPX much right now. But I did decide to chart them up yesterday and look at a few key things. We'll cover them in some future calls. I don't want to give you much on there, but at least you guys know what I'm looking for for US 30. And you guys can also see that I'm expecting DXY to continue going down if it's going to continue its downward run. Again, remember this, I may get on the charts tomorrow morning and it might give me a completely different outlook depending on what the European markets do tonight and what the US market does tomorrow. So I'm not sitting here trying to, predict the markets and think that I know everything about the market. Nobody does, but this is what I'm looking for. So guys, with that said, look, be paying attention to what's happening right now in global economics just for your own future. Be paying attention to what's happening, period, in the job market, in finances, a lot of stuff coming out with artificial intelligence. I mean, just be on the lookout because the world's evolving. And I want to be putting you guys on game and focus on kind of what's going on in the world outside of what you see on the regular news and stuff like that. So be paying attention to what's going on out there. Create your incomes, guys. If it's going to be with trading, do it, but create your incomes. Do not be dependent on any one source of income because life can change in a flicker. And we're seeing the job markets change completely right now, like never before, right? So be paying attention to that. US 30, man, if you guys, aren't trading it, I would encourage you to trade it on a demo account for a while. And if you don't know about funded accounts, look into it. Look up some YouTube on FTMO accounts and how they work and how you could potentially use those to, instead of trading your money, trading somebody else's money. So guys, I hope you got value from this. Make sure that you like this video for me. Drop a comment under it. That's going to help with the algorithm, and just share this, and anything that you guys want me to cover on future calls, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Message me on Instagram at Max the Mentor. Let me know how I can add more value to you guys. And let's see how these price patterns play out over the next week. So guys, I'm out for tonight. Wishing you guys massive success. Max out your Monday, max out your week. And I'll see you back here next week, Monday